Hello, guys. Welcome to an episode of Hidden Gems with me, your host, Natasha Parker. So, today we have a lovely lady in the studio with us today,
Mrs. Crazy.
Mrs. Serena Pitt is in the building. Pretty much everyone from my audience probably knows who you are, but I love when my guests introduce themselves to the Hidden Gems community. So, this is your camera right here. Tell everyone who you are.
Hello, everyone. I am Serena Pitt, as Natasha said, and you may know me from season 25 of The Bachelor, Matt James's season, or season 7 of Bachelor in Paradise.
Your season.
Which is my season, where I met the lovely Natasha, as well as my now husband, Joe Amabile. And yeah, we now host the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast. So you can go take a listen to that and be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And
plug.
And that's it. That's me.
Okay, Serena. Well, boo. Welcome to Hidden Gems. I'm glad that you're here.
I'm glad that I'm here too.
We had your very funny husband on the podcast. I think episode 7, 10, one of them, one of those numbers early on.
Yeah.
And now we have you on the podcast. And I wanted to have the two of you separately because that's 2 episodes, number 1. But also, I feel like Joe always needs his own moment.
Totally.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. He's the Aries of the relationship. He's the star of the show. So it's always good to just let him have the spotlight first.
Exactly. I'm like, I don't know how he would have felt if I asked you to come on first. You know what I mean?
Not good. I'm certain not good. But
exactly.
It may have put him in a better mood. I feel like you got him on a grumpy day.
Yeah.
When he came in.
I did. He was so grump. But it was a good podcast, and people loved our soulmate talk. And I was like, I cannot wait to have Serena on the podcast. So if you haven't listened to that episode yet, Joe and I don't even know how, it wasn't even like a specific question. We were just talking about, I think, the show just in general. And he said that he doesn't believe in soulmates. He believes that you find a person and you make it work, basically, to sum it up. What do you think about soulmates?
I feel like I fall close on the scale to where Joe does, but a little more in the middle of, like, I don't necessarily believe in like one person that your soul is meant to be with on this planet. I think there's so many people that we can connect with that can be impactful in our lives. I think, or at least I like to think, that there are people that we meet along the way on our journey that are going to have a greater impact or maybe feel more familiar to us and more special to our hearts and souls than other people do. And even if that's not a lifetime soulmate, it might be for a season of life, they can still have like a huge impact on who you are.
Yes.
But I think everyone's definition of a soulmate can be very different.
I think it also varies. Like you said, like some people do feel like it's one person for this life that go.
Yeah.
And I do think that you can't, it's funny because I feel like the more you get to know your own soul, the more you recognize maybe what you attach to or attract to or repel from, right? Or like, oh, I can tell this person is in my life for a reason, be it romantic, be it friendship, be it my little baby dog. I always say Nyla's my soulmate. Like she's like, we're not okay when we're not together, but we're so fine when we are, you know? But whoever she was in her past life, I don't know who she was, but like we need each other for this life, right? She's a COVID baby. And I was like, oh, we gonna die alone. Oh my God. And then, she was like, no, you're not. I'm here. So I just, so I think that, again, like you said, so many people have different definitions of soulmates and for that moment in your life, you can find someone that really helps you to that point, right?
And I do think that the term soulmate in the most extreme sense of like there is one or a few souls on this earth that are made for you is beautiful, but also can be so detrimental in the dating world.
Yeah.
Because I think it kind of creates the sense of like you're always looking for something better.
Yes.
Right? Like you're always looking for like that person that's going to be that 110% perfect fit for you.
Right.
And I think even you know, if soulmates exist, even a soulmate is not necessarily going to be that. Like, I do like, as much as it might not sound as romantic, like Joe's idea of you meet someone, you fall in love with them, and you choose them, and you make it work.
Yes.
In a healthy way, obviously.
Course,
like, we're not pushing past toxicity here, but I think that is beautiful and romantic in its own right. And I think, I just think like being like, there's one person out there for me that's perfect can leave people like searching for something they're maybe never going to find.
I agree with you. And it makes sense why you both have that mindset and you both are together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Because I know from my parents, just like his parents, just like your parents, are, you know, they met and then had us and they're still together. And now they're like in a different part of life where their kids are grown and whatever. And now they're, you know, still with each other. And you have to see, I mean, I saw my parents choose each other, you know, things weren't easy all the time and they choose each other and things like that. But when you find two people though that do believe, oh my God, there's only one person for me, and then they're like, oh my God, only one person, and then they find each other, maybe that's that similar thing for them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But my mom always says, like, this is the person I chose this life to do it with.
Yes.
And I think that like that really stuck to me because you just have to choose someone to do this. And I do think that certain people will make your life better if you're doing life with them, and you know, and or worse or whatever if you choose the wrong person to do life with, you know what I mean? Then maybe not. But so that's so beautiful, and it's also such a great perspective for people who are together, you know. Yeah, I agree. All right, so Toronto to New York City, do you see, or what is like the biggest difference from living here than in Toronto?
Oh, well, so different, because when I left Toronto, I was 23 living at my parents' house still. So I was living in Markham, which is like a suburb 25 minutes outside the city. And then I moved here with my fiance into a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment in a major metropolitan city.
Yes.
So my lifestyle just completely changed.
Wow.
But I mean, I did live away for school. I wasn't in like a downtown city, but I mean, I would say there's similarities that I can like pull from, but it was very different. And Toronto, New York have similarities, but nothing's like New York.
Nothing's like New York. But Toronto is Toronto the biggest city in?
It would be Toronto and Vancouver.
Okay, Toronto and Vancouver. Okay. So that's like LA and New York, basically. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. And before you went on the show, so you went on Matchmaking season.
Yeah.
Before you went on the show, if you didn't go on the show, what did you think you were going to do? What did you want to do? What were our aspirations?
So I'd graduated university with a degree in communications and then minors in business and psychology. And then I went into a post-grad degree program for sport and event marketing. Oh. And I really wanted to get into experiential marketing. That was my goal. That was the industry that was calling to me. I still think I would have really liked that. Like years later, working in this industry, I could still see myself having enjoyed that experience. Yep. But it was COVID when I was leaving my postgrad program looking for an internship. So experiences were not happening. Right. No one was hiring for like events. Right. So I pivoted and went into PR. I was working in like a predominantly fashion and beauty focused PR agency. And
how fitting.
Very fitting. Everything really aligned. And yeah, I probably would have just continued down that path, working in the agency. The goal would be to eventually get in-house with a brand, something, fashion, beauty, lifestyle related, and just live my life in corporate marketing. Yep. And I don't know if that's what would have happened. I mean, I really think you never know. Like, you can create a path for yourself, but you never know if that's what's going to happen. I mean, look, my life is a perfect example of that. Yep. But that was the 5, 10, 15-year plan.
Right. And I do think it's super important, though, regardless if it happens or not. I do think it's important to kind of, or try. Not everyone has a vision for what they want to do or have like deep interest in certain things. But I do think that it's good to still have an energy around something, because even though you were working in a different capacity. You were still in fashion and beauty.
Yeah, and I was still learning.
Yeah, and you're still, though, in fashion and beauty. Do you know what I mean? Which is like pretty much what you wanted to do, or the industries that you wanted to work in, and you're working in them pretty much, right?
I'm still essentially working in that industry, just in a different capacity. I'm just working on the other side of it.
Right.
But I do agree. I think it's good to have a general outline for where you see your life going, even if it's like a year or two, if you can't picture that far down the road.
Right.
And it's also okay to be open to pivoting that if other opportunities arise.
Yeah. I'm obsessed. And it's so interesting how the openness. So, okay, so when you decided to go on Bachelor, it was COVID.
Yeah.
So what made the decision? What was the deciding factor?
I mean, I did not apply thinking I would ever hear back. It was really on a whim. I got a lot of encouragement / pressure from my mom and my sister to do it. I'd just gotten out of a relationship. Matt was announced. I was like, oh, like this could be crazy. I'd watched the show for a long time. And I applied. I did like some form online. Never considered hearing back. Like it was really, I submitted it out of sight, out of mind. And then as I heard back and the process kind of continued, it was really just, I was out of a relationship and it was COVID. Like I feel like that was like such a driving force for me of it's been months of being locked in my house, of my social battery needing to be recharged. I'm such an experience-based person. I love new experiences. And I was just like, why not? And I feel like that's so many people that go on the show. Like you maybe don't think you would ever do it. And then when the opportunity's in front of you, you're like, what a once in a lifetime unique experience that so few people get to have. I feel like I'd be crazy to turn this down. Like it might never fall on my lap again.
Yeah.
I wasn't looking to change my life. That was the main thing. I really wasn't looking or expecting for my life to change at all. Like I was definitely naive going into it on the opportunities and the transformation that can happen. I really envisioned myself like, I'm going to go on the show. Maybe I'll fall in love with this guy and get engaged, and that would be unreal and amazing.
Right.
And maybe I'll go and I'll meet some cool people and I'll have a good experience, and then I'll come back home and I'll go back to my job, which is what I did temporarily.
Yeah, same. Literally same.
Yeah.
I was the exact same. But I also think that the show has had its issues with race and things like that. But just with the demographic and everything, I think that's a lot of people of color's mentality.
Totally.
Because the girls who just pop off, they don't look like us.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't see the little black girl going on The Bachelor being like, I'm going to get 1 million followers from this. And I'm going to blah, 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 blah. Like,
if there's one thing you never see is a storyline around one of the black girls being there for Instagram followers.
Yes. Ever.
It's never
Ever.
a woman of color. It's always the cute white blonde that you're like, she's here for the wrong reasons. She's here to be an influencer.
No, truly. I mean, we're laughing about it, but it's true.
Yeah.
So,
and I do think with Matt being the first black bachelor, there was like comfort in that too.
Yeah, for sure.
That maybe I hadn't felt if I never considered applying for the show until he got announced.
Right. Exactly. And I think that so I when I watch the show and I see, people of color, I'm always like, oh, baby. I always feel a certain type of way because I'm just like, I'm looking for them to be shown in a certain way. And I will say, and we'll get more into Jen's season a little bit, but I will say that there are people of color getting airtime on her season, that 100%. And the one-on-ones that she's picking and things like that so far. So I do like that. But okay, so back. All right, we go on the show and it's COVID. And I think that probably someone like you, if it wasn't COVID, I don't know that you would have did it. You know what I mean?
I don't know that I would have done it either.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, because it's just like I'm twiddling my thumbs. Why not?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, but what you said was interesting. A lot of people that I talked to, and even when my friend Julie, who was a producer on the show, a common thread is people are looking for something else or looking for a change. They want to spice something up. They want, you know what I mean? Like they're in a transitional period. They just quit their job. They just this, they just that. And so a lot of people they're kind of having that. But with Matt James's season, because it was COVID and it was like, why not? You know, I think that's why I think we got a lot of really cool, genuine girls on your season too. You know?
I think there was a lot of girls that applied, A, because of COVID, B, because of Matt, that never would have applied otherwise. And I was going into a period where I was starting a internship, and the internship was a requirement of my post-grad degree, and then I was pretty confident they were going to hire me on afterwards. And it was just kind of that perfect fit of both my schooling and my job were totally cool with it. They were like, yep, we'll put things on hold for you. It's only a few months. See you when you get back. So that was great. And also, I really saw it as like I'm about to enter my career. I'm about to take a step forward into a full-time job after this internship, after I graduate, and I'm not going to be revisiting this opportunity again. Or at least that's how I envisioned things at the time.
Yeah, because you're like, I'm not gonna quit my job that I just got to go on a show.
100%. I was like, I'm going to be like starting a new career. I can't be like, hey, peace out. I'm going to go on this show. But I was like, everyone's approving this and I'm kind of just about to take that step. So yeah, in a way it was like a transitionary time for me.
Right.
As well.
And it was also just like now or never.
Totally. Yeah. Or at least that's how I saw it.
That's how you
felt. Who knows? But that's how I felt.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, good thing, boo. Good thing. Okay. So when you decided to go to Paradise, what was the deciding factor for that? Because you left on, we all know, well, I don't know if the listeners know, Serena self-eliminated on Matt James's season. And you've talked about it so many times. You've talked about it before. Why? Yeah. But tell them why you left.
Yeah. We had a really, really strong connection right off the bat. And we totally hit it off. But I just didn't see myself being able to get there on a in love basis. Like I remember being like, I love him so much and I love being around him, but I'm not feeling those feelings of in love. And there was a lot going on at the time, I mean, in the world and everything. But I think I left that process being like, it didn't work for me, but I actually think it could because I did get so close in a way of like, like maybe if it had been my guy, like it
wasn't your guy.
Yeah, he just wasn't my guy. And I mean, we see that now, like he's in so a beautiful, happy relationship. Like it worked out for him and her. So when that happened as well, I was like, maybe this process is good for me in some ways that I'm not able to like open up and express myself and do all these things outside of it. I think it brings out a lot in people. And I think Joe and I are people that it works really well for. Because it brings it like things that are maybe our weaknesses outside of the show, it forces us to do inside of the show, if that makes sense. Like the structure of it.
It makes so much sense.
So after that, and you know, I went back to work and was just like, I just need to get out of there. Like once I left, I was like, get me out of here. Send my ass home. I was locked in my parents' house, like, back in the pandemic, back to work. I was just like, get me back to some normalcy. And then once the show started airing, that was challenging, but also very healing. And I remember knowing Paradise was coming up and being aware of that. And I was like, I think it could work for me. Like, I really do think that if I met the right person in this environment, I might find something really special here. And yeah, that's really what the deciding factor. And then again, it was like a once in a lifetime. Like, you know, it might never happen again. I'm not going to turn this down at the chance that like it's never going to come forward again when it's something I think I do want to do. Right.
And I think what you just said about the process, and you know, a lot of people talk about it. It works for some people. It doesn't work for some people. Like Becca Kufrin, she's another person it really works for.
It really
does. It wasn't her person these other times, but she, during the process, clearly, and me and her talked about this so much in depth. During the process, it was like, I feel like either people open up or they shut down. And I do think that I am someone on both shows. I mean, I was more open actually on Bachelor, I think, because I didn't even know what the hell was going on. I was like, what is happening every day? You know, so I had no choice. But then after that experience, I think going into Paradise, it was like, you know, also just in general, like you said, like my person wasn't there. And so but it also, that process helps, that being in that environment, I'm more shut down than like open up. And certain people, I think that it's easier for them to open up, as you said, to your point, you know?
Yeah.
So it's, but no matter what, no matter who you are, you learn so much about yourself.
100%.
Right?
Yes. I think everyone does, especially if you're like willing to do that reflection as things are happening and analyze like, how am I acting in this situation? And what does that say about me? And I don't know. It's just so interesting. I feel like it really throws you out of your comfort zone, but in a space where you feel kind of safe to be uncomfortable, because everyone feels uncomfortable.
Everyone's uncomfortable.
I feel like the worst thing about being uncomfortable and like putting yourself in uncomfortable situations is feeling alone, or like a fish out of water, feeling like you look like a fool.
Yes.
Whereas when you're on the show, every person that's a contestant there is also new and uncomfortable, and you're going through it together, and it kind of feels like a safe space to explore.
Yeah, that's so funny because I don't feel that way.
Really?
No.
You feel like it's not a safe space to be uncomfortable.
Right. Well, I'm such an empathic person that like especially in Paradise was awful. Like I was able to control my environment a little more in Bachelor because I was like, okay, there's 5 girls that I talk to. I don't want to talk to anyone. There's like Deandra and I are so close now.
Yeah.
We did not talk in the mansion. We did not get friends until after Bachelor, you know? But like there were 5 people I talked to. That's all I wanted to talk to. We never talked about our relationship. We never talked about Peter.
Yeah.
I told them I didn't want to hear that shit. Then there were people like Maddie, like.
But your cast was so different than my cast. For
sure. But even in Paradise, it's like, you know, bombs are going off left and freaking right. And you have your own stuff to like worry about, right? Or like feel. I can't see one of my friends going through straight turmoil and like be like, but I'm so happy today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it is
emotionally jarring.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like, I remember vividly one day you were crying on one of the beds or whatever, and I was just like, keep walking. Like I knew exactly why, and also Joe was going through it at the same time, and I'm just like, you know. But in my natural life, girl, you okay?
Yeah,
like that's what you want to do, but then you get sucked into that, and now you're like sad, and then you start thinking about your relationship, like, oh my god, well, what is this gonna happen to me? You know, so it's like this. So for me, I was going crazy.
Yeah, you're feeling all the feels.
I was feeling all the freaking feels. So did I feel safe? No, I did not feel safe.
Well, you weren't safe either. You weren't safe.
Literally was not safe. I was not safe. I would say one thing and then this would happen and I'm like,
yeah. But it's so funny because I would say
I was not safe or smart. Let me tell you that. I was not safe or smart.
It's hard to be smart when you're somewhere for the very first time and there's a lot of shit being thrown at you, you know? But I would say in like day to day, you are a more like emotionally connected, open person than I am.
Yes.
Significantly so. Like we are very different in that way.
Yes.
And so it's interesting that going to that environment, I feel like I would expect you to swim and me to sink. Like when
opposite happened.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yes. And I like even when they cast me, they told me later, much later, like in more recent years, like we didn't know if you'd be able to do it. Like we really liked you, but we were hesitant about you because we just didn't know if you'd be able to do this, like because you are so kind of closed, and then you did, like you just fully were able to handle it.
Yeah.
So it's just so weird.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, also I credit that to my fire being stuck between water. I am a Cancer rising and a Pisces moon.
Yeah, that's a lot.
So it comes out when I'm near the beach. Thanks, Paradise.
You're like, let's film it in Aspen next year.
Period.
And then maybe I'll be okay.
Period. Exactly. Let's get cold, you know?
Yeah, let's get cold.
But yeah, so anyways, these are all very interesting dynamics. And like, that's why, you know, I love to analyze the show. It's not like, you know, on Clickbait, you know, we would talk about every episode and stuff like that on that podcast, but like it's just so fascinating. I mean, I find all these Love Island. Are you watching Love Island?
Yes. Oh my God. We're not caught up.
Okay, I'm not caught up yet.
We're so behind like everyone else, but where are you? Are you before or after Casa Amor?
I'm at Casa Amor.
Oh my God.
I'm at Casa Amor.
So we're past Casa Amor. We're like 6 episodes from the finale.
Oh.
How crazy.
It's
one of the craziest shows I've ever watched.
But you want to know what's interesting about that show though that I do like? I like personally, I like how sexual it is,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also this like underlayer of like comedy
Yes.
with it as well.
It's like a bit of a parody.
Right. But obviously there's real feelings, there's real things, there's real stuff happening within the you know, like the avocado toast. Like, what's with the avocado toast?
They all look so bad too. Like, there's 100% chance of me making my own breakfast on that show.
Like what is the avocado toast? And then like the boys bring it to the girls and they're getting their makeup done.
Yeah,
like
every single morning.
Every morning
is avocado toast.
Could you imagine going home? You're like, damn, babe, where's babe with my avocado toast?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't end up with someone, I'd be like, ugh. Like, so it just, I think that it does a good job of building codependency. You know what I mean? Because I don't care.
That's
You
so
get
interesting.
you get avocado toast twice. You expecting it every day, right?
Yeah,
like
100%.
right?
It puts them into like a routine and a habit that relies on each other.
Exactly.
Like that routine every day is reliant on the other person because they're so like intertwined.
Yes, and I mean, I think it's wild that they just. I mean, what, it's 30 episodes? How many episodes it is? It's just
like 36 or 38.
So it's slow, and you can
and you know it's airing as they're there, right?
Yeah, that's what's so crazy, right?
It's crazy.
So it's like all of these things are happening. We're getting so much more time. I mean, like imagine like honestly, Paradise. The 30 days that we were there, if they would have, because there's so much stuff that happened at Paradise that no one saw.
Much.
Like, no, it's just so crazy.
Much, which is crazy. But think about it this way. Our season of Paradise was 2 days a week, 2 hours each. So 4 hours a week. And
because it was Monday,
Tuesday.
Right.
2-hour episodes each night.
Right.
So 4 hours of Paradise a week. And then Love Island is 5 nights a week, 1 hour. So it's technically only 1 hour more of television a week than what our season of Paradise was airing.
So altogether, that's only what, 5 hours more?
I think how many weeks?
But wait a minute, though.
Yeah,
wait a minute, though. How long is an actual episode? Because our actual episodes were like an hour and 20 minutes.
Some of these are like, I think their episodes range between an hour to an hour, like 35.
And there's like no commercials.
No commercials if you have premium Peacock, which we just got because I was like, I can't do these commercials on Love Island anymore.
Yeah, but like ours, no commercials. It's like an hour and like 20.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so it's a little less. But the other thing is like it's the editing that goes with it too. And what I love about Love Island is every single person feels like they get like the same. No, Leah definitely seems like she gets more airtime than anyone else because she was like in the drama.
Situational. Like you'll see like after Casa, there's a few people that get like a ton of airtime.
Right. But for the most part, even that aside, you like I know these girlies, these guys are talking shit, like whatever. You know, like you feel really connected. Whereas with Paradise, you don't feel connected with a lot of people,
but I would say it's
unless
also, it's like 12 people to start.
Yeah.
Versus what's Paradise, like 22 or something?
Yeah, it's like 12 couples.
Yeah. But I'll take what you said a step further and say I really like the fact that I agree you see everyone and you feel like you know everyone. You know the girls, you know the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they do a good job of not portraying like this person in this argument. Like two people are fighting. This person's a villain and this person we feel bad for. It's everything's very not black and white. Everything I feel like is like skewed pretty gray across the board of like, even if you don't agree with this person in this situation, you find something redeeming about them later in the show. And they're very like, they're more multi-dimensional characters than I feel like we see on a lot of reality.
Yes. And I mean, some of these arguments that you see, it's just like, I see both sides.
Exactly.
Whereas, with Bachelor, it'd be like, nah, bitch, you're wrong. But everybody hates you now.
Yeah,
you're the villain.
You're the villain. But on a lot of reality shows too, I feel like.
Yep. I agree with you. So so you kind of get to see, but I mean, maybe that's the casting too, right?
Yeah, I know everyone has said like this is the first time I've ever watched Love Island.
Same.
But everyone was saying like it's so good. The cast this year is so good. So maybe they did just cast a very likable group of people. Yeah,
I feel real bad for the girl who, when they did the one thing that nobody came and stood behind her. I still think about that.
I know.
I felt bad for her.
I felt really bad for her too. You know what's even worse? Like, I don't remember her name.
I don't remember her name either.
And I can't picture her.
But she was there for like one day. I can picture her for sure because I just watched it.
do. It was the blonde girl.
Yes.
Yes.
The blonde girl.
Cassidy.
Cassidy?
And I think they were calling her Cass.
Yeah.
I really wanted Leah to just go.
Me too.
Like, go up to Liv and be like, I'm going to go stand beside her. Like, I support you. I'm your girl, but I'm going to go stand with her.
So what's funny is I felt the same way. And I had this conversation with a friend. And I was like, that's my Bachelor and or Bachelor in Paradise brain.
Yeah.
Because truly, although people say things like I had no choice, we have choices on that show. 100%. You're not building alliances. I feel like with that show, you do have to build alliances.
Really? You think?
Well, look at what just happened. These people stood behind each other, right? And so imagine if 3 people didn't and something else like that happened. It's like, well, you didn't stand behind me last time. So do you know what I mean?
It's a bit tit for tatty.
It's a little bit with like their little competition-y type things that they do. Even like the boys, when the one dude said that he's like untrustworthy or whatever, it's like that's kind of where they build drama because it's like, okay, now I'm coming for you because I remember you said I was untrustworthy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't have that. In our like in the world of Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise.
There's no alliances.
There's no alliances. It's just like either I want to be with this dude or girl or not or whatever, and that's it. So with that in mind, I get why Leah stood behind her because she's like, I need her to know that like
and she's like, she's gonna be staying no matter what I do. So I'm gonna take this moment to be like, I've got your back.
Yes.
And down the line, hopefully you have my back.
Exactly.
Because it's like, Cass, I want to make you feel good, but you're gonna go home and I don't want this to bite me in the ass down the line.
Right.
So true. I wouldn't even have thought about it that way, but that's actually a good point.
Right.
I feel like it's like a different culture of filming.
It's different because I felt this. I was like, come on, Leah, just go. But they're also positioning her and they've put her in so like putting her last, they've put her in a really, because I was like, why is everyone so not in a like a negative way?
I think they put her last because she was closest to the new girl too.
And she had the beef with the other girl. Yeah, exactly. No, I 100% agree with you. But it's just like, there's also certain things and like themes that I'm seeing where it's just like centered around her. Because I was like, why is everyone so obsessed with her? She has so many more files. I mean, obviously the show just ended, so like who knows with like the following and everything like that. Yeah. But because there's, so many other people on the show that I love, 100%. So I don't know. But I'm seeing the airtime, and at least where I am right now,
I also
she's had the
most like
airtime.
A huge fit for like the Gen Z community of girls. Like my sister is like, I am a Leah stan. Like I'm a Leah sympathizer. Like I will literally.
Really?
Yeah. She's like, and she has said like, I see a lot of myself in some of the choices she makes. And like, just like her little fumbles in the dating world and like how she, like my sister's like, you have to remember all these people are like 22 years old.
I know.
She's like, they're like my age.
Yeah.
So she's like, I like feel like I'm learning and growing in the dating world. And I'm seeing them learn and grow in like a similar way.
Yeah. So that's deep in the sense of, obviously I'm watching it from my, 30-year-old brain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what I would do. You're putting yourself in these positions, what you would do, what you would do. And so looking back, it's like the whole conversation that she had with Rob, and then she brought in the other girl.
And then Liv and Taylor and
all that stuff that happened. I was like, you sound crazy.
I just wanted to be like, what is going on?
But also it was like, you can totally, like when like they voted the girl out that he was dating, boss ass move, bitch, boss move. And I'm like, that's great that you did that. Say, hey, but 4 other people also voted, you know, and the other people voted. I did not want her here and I voted her to leave, but they didn't want her here either. Yeah. So don't blame it on me, right? But that didn't translate. She was like, no, I didn't care. Like, it was like, no. It was crazy.
Yeah. But I also think, like, I could see the other side of it of her just being like, look, I agree with you. Like, I would not have done what she did.
Right.
I would not have gone to him and been like, I didn't care. I didn't want her to leave. Like,
right.
But I can also sympathize with the fact that, like, she still likes this guy.
Yes.
She doesn't want it to be pinned on her. So I think she went to, like, the other extreme of, like, I loved her and I loved you guys together. I was so happy for you. And like, I never wanted her to leave.
Yes.
And it's like, took that like white lie a little too far.
Yeah.
And then was like, I've gotten myself into a pickle. Like, I should not have used the word backseat. Like, I think she was just talking.
Exactly.
Was like, I've taken this too far.
But think about, and so to your point, to like your sister and everything, it's like back then, yeah, I probably would have ran in circles too. Right now in my life, I'm not going to. So saying that to say, listen, if you're listening to the last, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes of us talking about this and you haven't watched Love Island, watch Love Island.
Watch Love Island.
Number 2, when you are watching these reality shows or dating shows or whatever, I do think age and where someone is in their life, not really age, but like where someone is in their life,
and like where they're at in their like dating journey.
Exactly. Also, how you handle conflict.
Yeah.
Because I think that there are more eloquent ways to handle certain things, or more clear, concise ways to handle and get your point across. And maybe through the talk that the girls had, you know, like when all the girls came together and they had their second talk like together, it was like she was so much more clear on what she meant when they like kind of had their come to like when they kumbaya together, you know?
Yeah, they had their group chat.
And they were like, okay, girl, I love you too. Okay, bye. Like, you know, and they like made up. So in the moment, sometimes under pressure, people really can't express themselves the way that they want to.
I feel like I'm not amazing at expressing myself under pressure, but I go the route of saying less when I feel that way out of fear of like not being able to accurately articulate myself.
Right.
Which I'm grateful for because I feel like that gives me an opportunity to like leave space to say more when I'm ready. And I feel like there's so many people that go on reality TV that and just people in life that are the opposite, where like they're faced with conflict or they're faced with a hard question. It's like word vomit, but those people are also way better television and way more entertaining to watch.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna say that the only time that I am like, you know, do not send for me unless I come for you. Because if you come for me, I'm ready. I'm always ready.
Yeah.
But if it's like a weird situation, like I feel like this person did something to me and I feel a type of way about it and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like I would like to take some time because I don't want to say anything that's going to offend or hurt someone or whatever. And I do, especially if I care about the relationship.
Yeah.
Now, if I don't care about the relationship, I am going to read you your rights. Here we go. Like, boom, boom, boom. And I don't care if you disagree or don't agree. Yeah. Like, I mean, we saw that on Paradise. I do not give a shit. So, yeah, that's the only time where I'm like, oh, you know. Yeah. So when people try to come for me, I'm like, yeah.
I have some shit to say.
I've been taking it. Because the thing is I have the worst memory ever for, like, normal things.
Yeah.
But when people tell me things, especially people that I care about or that I like, especially men, when they say something very specific, like, oh, you know, I'm never on my phone. And then I go spend a weekend with them and all they're on their phone. I'm like, oh, so we never on our phone.
You're like, all right, so this has been noted. This has been noted.
Right? I remember stuff like that. Like, I have a crazy memory for stuff like that. It's wild. And I keep every single text message I've ever gotten, ever.
Yeah, I don't delete text messages.
Which is crazy. So, okay, see, that makes me feel better.
Do people delete text messages?
Well, so there's a thing on your phone that you can like, you know, after 30 days, after a month, after a year even. No, mine is like in there forever.
Yeah, I'm not deleting anything.
I'm going to be honest with you. Just the other day, I had to go back to 2019 and be like, oh, wait, you don't remember that?
Yeah, let me pull it up.
I said,
let me pull it up for you.
Bing, screenshot, send it. Oh, what's that?
Yeah.
What's that?
You're like, do you remember now? Do you remember now?
So I am that person. That is the Aries in me. I am sorry. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So with that said, though, giving the grace to the people, I think that's a really good point of where people are. And that's why this season has been so fantastic. Okay. So since we're on the reality train, Jenn season. Have you been watching Jenn season?
Yes.
And the first thing that I want to talk about with Jenn season, I know you recap it for Bachelor Happy Hour, which is great. The boy who has never been in love.
Yeah.
What's his name again?
Sam N.
Sam. What do you think about his journey so far? Now, just for our listeners, we've seen up to episode 3. Well, I have. I'm pretty sure Serena's got the tea on episode 4, or maybe 5.
I may have seen episode 4. Joe and I sometimes get to watch a little bit early because we'll podcast in advance of the episode coming out.
Right. Okay. So for the sake of this conversation, episode 3, is the last one that I saw. And what do you think of Mr. Sam's journey, Mr. Never Been in Love?
So the last thing from episode 3 is the strip date, right?
And he did not get naked.
Fun down under date or whatever. You know, I think he described himself this way of feeling like really misunderstood. And I think he feels that way because people are struggling to understand him. Like, I think he is misunderstood.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, I think that lines right up. You know what I mean?
And
I think that's a hard thing to feel, but I also think that he is a very unique contestant. We rarely see someone on this show. Actually, rarely might be a strong word, but most people come on the show with dating experience. You know, we're seeing people that were engaged. We're seeing people that had long-term relationships. Maybe they haven't had a serious commitment, but they've had girlfriends, you know? But we've had, you know, people that have never been kissed. We've had virgins who haven't had sex before. It's hard when you go on a show that's meant for engagement and marriage, when you are showing up having never been in love, and then not only that, like that's okay, you know? Like there's been people that have found love on the show that maybe haven't felt they have found a big love.
Right.
They've had high school love or college love, but they never really felt it was big love.
Lifelong, yeah.
Yeah, but he has never been in love, and his dating history is very minimal. Like there's never been a girlfriend in the picture.
And he's 25.
I think so.
Pretty sure he's 25. Okay.
And he's expressing these feelings so fast. It does make you wonder, like, why weren't you got here super quick, you know? You got here in a matter of days. What was it that you couldn't get there in the outside world? But also this experience moves so fast. I don't know. It's hard for me because I know how his storyline plays out. And also we interviewed him on the podcast. So I feel like I have a greater sense of sympathy for him.
Yes.
And because we did talk to him, but there's definitely an experience.
Right.
That I think he would have benefited from going on the show.
And that's what I was going to say. And to our, you know, to lock in or come back to the Love Island, it's like, if you remember how you were when you maybe, you know, before you met someone that you really liked, right? Or when you did meet someone for the first time that I remember my first boyfriend and I liked him so much and I was a complete like weirdo. I was such a weirdo. I was like, I can't give him, like, don't talk to me, leave me alone, running away from him. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like being so weird.
Yes.
And so the thing that I'm just sad about, it's like, we see how it's getting played out with him and the rest of the people. And it's like, I'm not feeling, I wish that it was from like Jen's making me feel misunderstood. Because Jenn is doing a great job of
she's
expressing.
actually doing great.
I think, dare I say, she is like top. I haven't watched The Bachelor from like the beginning. Yeah. But from the shows that I've seen, the way that she's navigating and handling this, she's so amazing to watch.
She was really good with Sam N too in that whole situation. Like I was very curious how she was going to handle that, because obviously he's telling her he's falling in love with her in front of all these guys. The guys are laughing. It's it didn't land, you know? Like no matter what, it didn't land. And I was very, very curious how that conversation was going to go between the two of them. And I honestly was so impressed with how she handled it.
Yeah. And she was like, well, it sounded good because, I mean, that's what we hear. Yeah. So, you know.
If that's how you feel, then thank you for telling me.
Right. And I'm just in awe of her. I love her. I think she's amazing. I also love how physical her season is. Like, I'm like, well, her and what's the other man's name?
Sam M.
Well, they just go get a room.
Yeah, no, they're making out hard.
The first episode, I was like, you know. So again, it's watching Love Island to Bachelor. It's like, you know,
night and day.
It's super night and day. It's like, you know, R versus PG. You know what I mean? But I think Jenn is keeping, for The Bachelor, she's keeping it super spicy.
Yeah.
Super spicy.
And I think that's great. Like, falling in love should be sexy. Like, there's I get we're on Disney. Like, I get we're on ABC and we gotta, you know, keep it PG. But, like, I think it's good that she's like being open with her sexuality.
Yes, I think so too, because I think that like in the first episode and also on her last season, it's like she seems so like prim and proper and cute, which she is.
Yeah.
But I think that the beautiful thing and the great thing about having a lead like her, it's we are layered. We can be a nurse and be prim and proper, but we also can be freaky and be like, come here and give me these kisses. Yeah. We also can, you know, tell a guy, no, I don't like this or that. Or, you know, you just wasted 10 minutes of my time and I was twiddling my thumbs while you were arguing with whoever the hell. Yeah. You know, like she's so early on. It's like I said, I've only seen 3 episodes. So early on, we've seen so many dimensions of her.
I agree.
And I love that.
And I do think as much as there's been a ton of drama with the guys and a lot of controversial figures and Sam N versus the Devin versus the Sam M, just a lot of personalities across the board, I think that has allowed us to learn so much about her so fast because it's kind of forced her to go way deep into the role of being the Bachelorette.
Yes.
And kind of how do you want to command these situations?
Yeah, to be honest, and what's funny is I find myself, and this is just me, y'all can call me shady if you want, most of the time when I watch these shows, I'm fast forwarding through the parts when they're just solo until the end. Like
Wait,
till,
what do you mean?
Meaning like when they're just solo sitting with a guy or a girl. Like if the Bachelor's sitting with a girl, if the Bachelor's sitting with a guy, whatever. I'm like fast. I'm trying to get to where the girls are. You know, when they're like, and the guys are.
Yeah.
This season, I'm like, I want to fast forward. Y'all don't like each other. Devin, Sam, you don't like each other. All right. Every day, it's the same shit. You don't like each other. Find like, go in that room, go in that room. These places that we shoot are fucking huge.
Yeah,
they're
you
huge.
can avoid each other.
Yeah,
no
it's
problem.
like you're in this room, you're bye. You know what I mean? There was a girl in my season. I was always like, oh, she in this room. Let me go over here because like I just energies are different. Didn't hate her. Didn't not
and it's
like her.
Easy to do subtly.
Exactly.
It'd be different if you were like, oh, there's one room and like you're sitting there and I'm gonna like sit over like
we're
you can
stuck
do it
next to each other.
Yeah, you can do it in a way that's like not awkward or obvious of like, oh, they're in there. I'm gonna grab my drink and go sit in this room.
Yeah.
Like we can kind of keep it spaced out.
Yeah, but I think this group of men though are oddly very competitive.
Joe and I've been saying the same thing. There's like intense competition like across the board because we were seeing so many guys be like, she's my wife. Yeah. She's my wife. She's going to pick me. I can't picture her with anyone but me. And like every week I'm saying on our podcast, like, you don't know her yet, guys.
You don't know her.
Like maybe you really like her and maybe you do envision yourself with her, but you cannot sit here and say that she is going to be your wife and that you can't imagine her picking any other guy here. Like that's just competition and ego coming into play.
Well, I mean, they say Bachelor is a competition dating show.
Which like it is a
Which
little
is
bit.
Crazy.
But it's not at the same time.
But it's not because at the end you want it to be love. You want it to be real love. So I hope that doesn't get in the way of like, you know, if you're dangling the fruit, people are trying to catch it and, oh, I'm the one who's going to get it, right?
But did you find on your season there was contestants that fell more in the competition energy
100%.
and fell more in the dating?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. You could see it clear as day.
Yeah.
You could see it clear as day.
Yeah.
I do think that it's super easy on the group dates to fall into the competition of the group date because obviously you're trying to get that time if 100%. That's what happens or whatever. But I don't know. I will say the race car thing when the guy like stopped and on purpose lost to kiss her.
Yeah. I thought that was so cute. It really melted my heart.
I was like, I
love him.
Loved that.
Yeah. Jeremy.
Obsessed with that,
He's
Jeremy.
great.
I was obsessed with that. And also I will say, or 25 men on the season, and which is a lot. I mean, there were 33 people on Pater's season.
Yeah, there was about the same. I think we had 35 maybe on Matt's season.
That's 10 more people. Think about that than what, that she
I
had.
think less contestants is better.
I think it's better for the viewer, not necessarily for the Bachelorette.
That's true.
That's just my, but the men that they did pick, I would rather 25 studs or like 25 really interesting people. I will say every person that they have shown thus far is either very handsome or seems very interesting or very funny. And that is the reason why people date people, because you're hot, because you're mentally stimulated, or you make them laugh.
Yeah.
That's what women want, right?
100%. And I feel like with the guys, it's harder to cast great guys than it is great girls on The Bachelor / Bachelorette. And they have a lot of good guys. Even if it's like, this guy's never going to end up with Jen, I'm at least like entertained. They have a personality.
There's so many dudes that I'm like, oh, they would crush Paradise. Even
there's a lot of good Paradise guys.
Who was the other guy on the we haven't talked about the fact that Aaron sounds just like Noah, and I can't. It
took me like,
I can't.
The first 3 episodes, I was just like,
Noah what?
But they don't look alike, and their energy is so different.
Their energy is
so way they different. Speak, like their diction and phrasing, I'm like, this is Noah. This is crazy.
They talk the same.
It's crazy.
It's so wild.
Yeah,
it's really wild.
Like, so I could close my eyes and it's Noah.
Same. Yeah, I'm in the other room making breakfast or whatever. I put it on, whatever, and I'm like, Noah. So, I mean, yeah, but I really like Aaron. I will say this. I think that it was a good choice for him to leave.
I think so too.
When he did not win the race car thing and like didn't have the extra time with her, like he said something like that would have been like a little more reassurance for him. And I can't remember what season it was, but like that happens sometimes to certain contestants where they are looking for the Bachelor or Bachelorette to give them. Mm-hmm. Was it Greg and Katie? Maybe it was Greg and Katie. Maybe it was their thing when they were doing. It was like I can't remember who it was. I feel like it was Greg and Katie because he was looking for like that reassurance from her as well. And I think she wasn't. And so that was like a super contradictory thing that happened with them because it was like. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think the Bachelor and or Bachelorette needs to also give that reassurance, or should it be more so like, you know, like they always say, here for me, here for me, here for me. Is that like in our private, do you know what I'm saying?
I think they absolutely should give reassurance. I think
on both sides. On both sides.
Yeah, 100%.
So
I will say like, I'm going to speak for them tentatively. I would say, let's go to Joey's season. Mm-hmm. I think it was evident that Joey was giving the reassurance needed to the girls that he saw going the distance.
Right.
But I don't think you can give long-term reassurance. I think you can give like small amounts of weekly reassurance.
And that was the issue with our Golden Bachelor. He gave long-term reassurance to everyone.
Yeah, you can't do that.
And see,
you gotta kind of go week by week because you have to know things are always changing.
Right. Yeah, that's
in an ideal world.
Yeah,
but again, there's no like perfect way to do it.
Yeah. So and also there's no measurement to doing it. So if I think I'm reassuring you, but you still don't feel reassured because you just saw this guy straddling and making out with you.
And everyone needs like different kinds and different levels. And it's like,
so that's why I'm like,
it's a slippery slope.
It was a good thing that Aaron left, I think, because if whatever she was giving him wasn't enough reassurance to get him to stay, and, you know, obviously this is probably a once in a lifetime thing as well for him in his career and what he wants to do, you know, Aaron's family, because we love Noah, so we, you know, I'm glad that he did what he thought.
Even though if he got reassurance that week, like if he got the extra time, I would have been like, do not stay.
Right, you should still go. You should go. Thing.
Like because this is your dream come true, and like from what we've seen, at least, like we obviously see all the connections. Like I don't think they're compatible. Yeah, like they might. Like I just don't see the compatibility there.
Well, the thing is, it's just hard with Jen, and I just don't know. And maybe you know who she is, or I don't know. But look, it's hard because I see chemistry with so many of these guys. It's the chemistry. The math is mathing.
Yeah, but I think that she is a naturally good flirt.
Yes.
And she has natural, like, sex appeal in her energy.
And she welcomes theirs.
Yes.
She welcomes theirs, which I'm also so obsessed with.
I love that, but I don't think she has compatibility. I would say she has chemistry with a lot, but not compatibility.
Exactly.
With a lot
of the guys. So that's where I'm like, I'm missing that. I'm, you know, obviously you have to watch more of the season, right? So look, I took some seasons off.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I did not watch Joey's season. I tried. I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, can't do it. No. But Jen, I'm locked in, girly.
But you, I feel like, always say you have an easier time rooting for the girlies. Like
the Bachelorettes.
Yeah.
I feel like certain women the women leads, I really get behind them because I feel like they are I'm seeing them put themselves out there, and I'm seeing these guys be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that's just, I'm not saying I'm so used to seeing women be vulnerable. Like that's, I'm not in the business of seeing women try to tear each other down and like, you're a villain, you're the, like, I'm like, and even the guys, I don't want to see the guys do that either, but it's the vulnerability that the men show that I'm like, oh my God. So that's why, I've always been more of a Bachelorette stan than a Bachelor stan.
I feel like you're going to like Golden Bachelorette then.
Oh, I can't wait for my girlie. I can't wait. They were like, oh, why'd they pick her? I said, they could have picked any of them. Yeah. Any of those ladies. I'm ready for them because Gary.
Oh, Gary.
We're not going to get into it, but I'm disappointed, Gary. I'm disappointed because I loved him. I love that man. I did. I was rooting for him.
You could still love him.
Nope, I can't. I don't love him no more. Look, I'm a Teresa stan. Okay, so I love this. I love that you came here and we got to talk. Look, it was just us catching up about our shows.
I know, really. This is just us talking about our TV shows.
Literally, it's us with Succession. It's us with it's us with all of our what's the one that's coming out? White Lotus.
White Lotus. Oh my God.
We're having White Lotus. When does it come out?
I don't know. Hopefully soon.
No, literally, it's us in our shows. Me, you, we love, and Nyla and Joe.
Yeah,
we love it. Okay, so I have some other questions here for you. We went all the way in, out, and around here. We have to talk about the love here. What constitutes as the newlywed stage?
Oh, good question.
Because I don't know.
I don't know either. I think the first year.
The first year
of marriage we can call the newlywed stage.
Okay, are we still in that stage? Technically,
if we're talking the courthouse marriage, no.
No, okay.
We're almost at 2 years.
Okay, you're almost at 2 years. Okay, yeah. Okay. The courthouse. We'll never forget it. Never forget it. I actually was just telling that story to someone. So now that it's been 2 years and you have a lot of girlies, friends back home and everything that are still single, what is Serena's dating advice? Because you found love on a show. Unfair.
But you know,
we have to be in the real world.
I feel like I give good dating advice.
Okay, what's the dating advice? What do you say to these girlies?
Well, it depends on the situation.
Well, just dating. The state of dating in general.
Yeah.
Like, how do you tell a girl to put herself out there? What would you tell her to do?
I mean, I just think it's simple. Like, I think people overcomplicate dating. A lot of people, not everyone. I think everyone has their own like struggles and challenges when it comes to dating that are like very unique to them. But in a general sense, it's like if you want to meet someone, you have to put yourself out there in whatever capacity that fits for you. If that's like you're going to bars and you're making eye contact. If that's you're like going up and being like, do you want to buy me a drink? If that's you're going on Hinge dates. If that's
you are telling people to go up to boys and be like, buy me a drink.
Yeah, why not?
I'm gonna do that this weekend just
be like, hey, like, do you want to buy me a drink?
And I'm going to see who would say no to that. Do it right now. Do
it. Like, hey, are you single? And if they're like, yeah, be like, do you want to buy me a drink?
Who would say no to that?
Look, I'm just saying everyone's got their own style.
No,
figure
but
out what it is.
That would work for you. That would work so well for you. Is that what you tell your sister? Is your
my sister is in a new relationship.
Oh, she's in okay. Because I'm like,
but she would go up to guys and be like, hey, like
you're bubbly, so it doesn't come off as like buy me a drink. Like I would get bossy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like I'm like, no, you should ask me to buy me
or I'll, like,
a drink.
I would like bait them into buying me
but
a drink,
the eye contact,
in like a gentle way.
The eye contact. Yes.
I think like you also like, I have one of my best friends she has great energy, but she has resting bitch face. Like she looks unapproachable. And I tell her this all the time because she'll be at a bar and she'll be like, why are all these guys going up to so-and-so? Like they're in a relationship, like they're not even single. I'm like, because they look like they just have a face that looks really, really approachable. And they're smiling and they're laughing and they're talking and they're making like, they're looking around, looking at people. I'm like, yeah, like I hate to tell women like smile more. Like that's I think just like the worst thing you can say to a woman ever. And that's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But it's like opening yourself, putting out the energy, whatever that means. And I feel like people sometimes are like, I hate the apps, then go out. Go out with your girlfriends.
Oh wow.
You're not finding anyone in a bar. Maybe you have to like set up a Hinge date.
How are you as a wing woman?
I feel like I'm good.
You're a good wing woman.
Yeah, because being the wingman or the wing woman, you have nothing at risk.
Yes.
You have nothing to lose.
Correct.
It's like the least you can do for your friends is put yourself out there when you're not even the one trying to get with the guy.
Exactly. You hear that, guys? We need more wing women.
Yeah.
And men.
And you have to be like a true wing woman. It's like, I mean, it's easier because I'm in a relationship now, but like if I'm single, like I'm wing woman, I'm going in, I'm being the wing woman. Like I'm not flirting with this guy. If he's, because I feel like sometimes you go over and they're like, well, what about you?
Yeah.
You know,
and you're like,
no, what about her?
Yeah. Well, you come over, you're like, nice to meet you with your left hand.
Now it's easy.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. My friend thinks you're cute. Yeah. Like, I don't.
Hi, my friend thinks you're cute. Yeah. What's your deal?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. No, facts, right?
Yeah.
Completely facts. Okay.
You know what's crazy though? I feel like women, get less hit on when they have a ring on their finger, and men get more hit on.
Really?
That's like a thing I heard.
What?
I feel like I saw like chicks in the office somebody talking about that forever ago.
Who are these women hitting on these married men? No.
But I feel like it psychologically makes sense because like, oh, they're pre-vetted. Like someone married them. Like they're not a total weirdo.
Well, what I'm always worried about, and this is one of the reasons why I'm so afraid to go up to a guy, because I'm afraid a guy isn't wearing a ring. Yeah. He is married, and I say, hey, because he sees that. I mean, there was a guy once. He was so cute. We were at this place. My friend, I had just had a conversation with one of my guy friends, and he was like, Natasha, dudes are scary. You think a guy's hot, he's gonna buy you a drink, have a conversation with you, whatever. Like, you know, you just need to go talk to him. I just had the conversation with him. There was one guy at this place that was cute. Yeah. And I was like, he kept staring at me, kept looking at me, never came up to me. I said, okay, I'm gonna go do what my friend Max said. It was Bruno's Max.
Yeah.
I said, fine.
And I would agree with that advice. Like, you're beautiful. Men are gonna be nervous to come up to you. Like, you should go up to them. They're never gonna shut you. Like, they're not gonna shut you down. At least they're gonna buy you a drink and have a chat.
Well, I went up to this man. And he was married. He didn't have no ring on his finger.
See, that's like, where are your rings, guys? Where are your rings?
And he didn't even live here. He was like, listen, I'm so glad that you came up to me. Like, wow, that makes me feel so good. That was so great. You're beautiful.
Yeah. Well, obviously, because he was checking you out.
Yeah. And he goes, and I would have to tell you that I'm married, but I would love to buy you a drink, and we are going to this place after. And I said, honey, I got a drink. Leave me alone. Bye.
Yeah, you're like thank you, but no thank you. Well, no, but that makes sense because he was fully, like, you didn't go up to him because you weren't getting any vibes. Like, he was fully checking you out.
Let me tell you, that was the last time I did that.
He's just being a bad boy. No, you should do it again.
No, I'm so mortified. I was like,
you shouldn't be mortified. He should be mortified.
He was not mortified. He was so happy. He was so glad. He's had a little smug look on his face. I was so like, ugh. I found him on Instagram later. No photos of his wife. Go to her page. Go to his tag. I said, these men. So yeah, so that was not a great experience. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just like so used to men coming up to me. And like men just shoot your shot, you know?
Yeah.
Girls are nice. We'll talk to you. Right?
I think most girls are nice.
Most girls are nice. Yeah, I think so. Men are listening to this like, no, they're not. You guys are bitches.
I know, they're scared. Everyone's scared to go up to everyone, but for good reason because
I literally don't want to deal with a I don't want to deal. I never, ever, ever want to deal with it like that type of married situation, like not knowing and then. Anyway, sorry. Let's really back in, girls. Okay. Do you see yourself staying in New York long term?
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
I love New York, but I think you have to make a lot of sacrifices if you want to stay here long term in terms of like space.
Okay.
Finances.
So many things.
Yeah, and so many things that I don't know if I'm willing to give up some of those things.
I 100% agree. How have you found it making friends in New York City?
Honestly, challenging.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say I don't necessarily put myself out there a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hard when I'm here and I'm married and Joe's my best friend. We literally do everything together and I love that. And we both work from home and we're just like, I wouldn't say we're codependent, but we're like best buddies. Like, we like hanging out. But I think I came in like knowing you and knowing Bree and like having like 3 or 4 girls that I'm like, if I want to
get the girly time.
Yeah, I can search it out. But I will say moving to a new city, I think I thought, oh, you'll just like fall into a friend group and like we'll just kind of find our way. And it's like we have a lot of like one-off friends or couple friends or people we know through the show, but it was not as natural as I thought it would be. And I think that's maybe just like making friends in adult life versus like being in college where everyone's searching for friends.
Right. Well, I also think just in New York in general, overall, it's like everyone's so busy and everyone has 1,000 things that they're doing.
And not here a lot.
And not here. Everyone's scattered.
Traveling.
Yeah. You really have to be like, no, bitch, we going to dinner. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
100%.
Like you really have to like follow up.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I agree. You and Joe travel a lot. Hence reset.
Yes.
I want to ask you about reset for a little bit. Now, what made you want to do Reset the Label?
So at the time, I was watching Joe put so much into Sundays with Joe, which is his pasta sauce line, for those that don't know. And I was just starting out in the influencer space and kind of, finding my way. And I just felt like I was doing so much promoting of other people's products, which I do love working with brands and I love collaborating with products.
Absolutely.
But I was craving a new venture, a new learning experience, a new creative outlet, and specifically something that was mine, that I could take ownership over and promote. And I know Joe was very much like, hey, it's hard and it's a lot. And I was like, yeah, I know that. But then when you get into it, you're like, damn, like this is hard and this is a lot. But the inspiration behind it was really, we travel so much. I had things that I wanted, like physical items that I was looking for, that I was like, this is a natural fit of, a product that I'm craving that is a fit for my life that hopefully other people resonate with as well.
Yes. And I love my fanny pack. Like, I love my fanny pack. I wear it all the freaking time.
The first fanny pack drop was such a success. I'm so proud of that item.
Yeah, it's so great. Yes. More.
Yeah.
More. And so being a young business owner, do you have any advice for someone who's like, I want to start a insert thing? Did you learn something?
I mean, there's so much to learn. I think as you go, you just realize how little you do know. And I honestly don't feel like I'm in a place to be giving advice yet, because I'm still
deep.
Under a year into the business.
Yep.
I'm still like learning so much. And like, look, if this succeeds or fails, not saying that it's going to, but just if it did, I have no regrets.
Yes.
Like everything is a lesson. Everything is a learning experience. I'm going to take so much away from this. But yeah, I just don't feel qualified to be giving people small business advice.
Ugh. That's a gem though too. You're still learning and you're still in the process and you're in it right now. So that's amazing. And so that leads me to my last question. Is there anything in your life that you I hate to say regret, because like we said, it's all learning. Yeah. But if there's a moment in your life that you feel like you could go back to and or do over, is there anything from like reflecting, looking back, that you see right now? Or relive?
Relive?
Yeah. Because there's a moment in my life that I would definitely relive.
Like in a good way?
Yeah. And be more present in it.
Be more present.
Mm-hmm.
You tell me yours, because I need a minute to think on this.
Okay. There was a person that I was dating that I really took advantage of. I don't want to say him, but like him, like that he would always be there.
Yeah.
And I was so focused on work. I had no work-life balance. And like he had to deal with me like canceling dates, doing this, doing that, And although I know that this is not the person that I'm supposed to be with. Yeah. We had such amazing times that I remember, if like I think about, being present is so important to me. And I love that about myself. And I started this journey really trying to be present when I stopped dating him. But I feel like as the person that he is, and I still love him to this day, he deserved the more present Natasha than the like completely aloof, manic, crazy, like I got 2 phones, I'm always having 1,000 emails, when I was like working in corporate. Yeah. So I do wish that I could, we dated for like 2 years. I wish that I could have those 2 years been way more present in those 2 years. But no regrets. Yeah. Right? I learned what I learned, and it pushed me to be a more present person for everybody else and things like that. But I do wish, because we had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. This is a hard question. I'm gonna give an answer. I feel like I could probably I'm going to in an hour call you with a better one. But I remember when one of my first jobs was teaching swim lessons. I actually loved it. I literally, if it was like, I would go back and teach more swim lessons. But the boss, she owns a company at Superfin Aquatics, and it's like a private swim company. And she is someone that I am so inspired by. She's she's just an amazing person. She has so many, she has so many gems. Like she all the time would be like sending voice notes and watching her like run her company. Like she started when she was like 18 and she's taken her business. And like, I look back on that time and and other people in my life too have like recognized those people that are like near you and in your life, and I don't want to say take advantage of them, but like take advantage of them.
Yes.
Like,
talk to them more. Yes. Get their wisdom.
Like there's so many people that I've had in my life growing up that I now look back and I'm like, those people had so much wisdom, and it might be like, yeah, like you can still call them and connect, but it's like being that sponge of like, if they're willing to give it, like take it.
Yes. And she was.
Yeah, she was. And I was look back and I'm like, I wish I'd spent like more time with her and just like surrounded myself with her energy and her wisdom and like picked her brain more. And like there's other people I look back on that too where I'm like, wow, like I didn't realize maybe in the moment they were having such an impact on me. But now looking back, I'm like, I feel like I should have like soaked that up more.
Yeah. That's it. And that's a deep gem. And so for anyone listening, if you feel like there's someone in your life that's like a mentor or someone that you can learn from, definitely, because that's why we're here. We are literally here to learn from each other. And no one's, even though people say they did it on their own, no one's did it on their own.
Yeah.
And when people fall flat and then get back up, they have things to share. And that's what this podcast is all about. So thank you, Serena.
Thank you, Natasha.
That was such a gem. Yeah. That's amazing. And also, I did not know about the swimming, girl. I have a friend who taught me how to swim during 2020, actually, here in New York. And there's a gym that like have swim instructors if you ever wanted to do something just for fun. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah. But it's great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Everyone should learn how to swim.
Yeah, even if you're older. I mean, I literally learned took proper swimming lessons. Because I'm from Chicago. There's a lake. We don't swim in the lake.
Joe never did swim lessons either.
See?
We did some basic stuff with him. Like when I got with him, I was like,
it's Chicago though. Because we're not going to swim in a lake. Like
no,
we're not. And there's people don't just have pools. No, we don't do that.
Yeah.
No. So it really is, a lot of people in Chicago don't know how to swim. They always say black people don't know how to swim. But see, Joe's not black. It's
just
fine.
Chicago.
It's just Chicago. See? Yeah. So, but yeah, there is a gym though that is an indoor pool that you guys could literally go to and like brush up. Like, I mean, it's great to do it in this winter because what the fuck else do we have to do? Yeah. I would go during the winter. So, but yeah, it's never too late to learn something new.
Yes.
Gem. Also,
100%.
Those people in your life that are willing to give that info, take it. Yeah. So thank you so much, Serena. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. Obviously I love all my episodes, but I love when my friends come on because then it's just like we just talked for I don't know how long, and we are I could talk to you for 5 days.
100%.
Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. We talked lots about all the things. Watch Love Island. We are Love Island stans. Watch Jenn Tran because we are a Jenn Tran stan.
Yes.
And we will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.